Anthony Hoffman's still part of the community, though. He was a firefighter. He was right on the front lines 1 year ago, but he wasn't able to save his own home. And you may remember last year, Anthony was part of our coverage, and we spoke to him about his experience. So, of course, we had to reconnect with him 1 year later. So, Anthony, once again in Fort McMurray, and good to see you this morning, Anthony. Thanks for giving us some time again.
Hey, no worries. Thanks for having me, Heather.
Oh, it's a pleasure to speak to you today because we met you under the most extreme of circumstances. You were one of about 1,100 firefighters giving everything, fighting tooth and nail, heart and soul to save your community. Why don't we start with a moment's reflection, because what do you remember about that battle 1 year ago today?
I think it's still inspiring to me in terms of the brotherhood, in terms of the number of firefighters that came up from throughout the province, throughout the country, the way that it brought us together. That's the lasting impression for me. It's not the fire, it's not the devastation, it's the effects of and the camaraderie and all of the good that ended up coming out of fighting side by side, brothers and sisters with the fire department.
I want to come back to that point of good in a second, but one of the lasting images, I think, for Canadians is of the firefighters. We saw your heroism on full display 24/7 as you work so hard. You're still a firefighter, but I'm wondering what the experience of last year, how, if any way, it has changed how you approach your job.
Absolutely. I think that it's given me a little bit more, maybe, accountability to the position there. I mean, I grew up wanting to be a firefighter. I was one of those little boys in a plastic fire helmet and fire truck. And, you know, it always had that sort of romance and luster to it. And I think that the fire was where reality hit it in the face. And it really just sort of showed me that, okay, the commitment is real that you need. And it's not a game. This is something, you're here for the community. You're here to serve. And you better be ready. It's not something for me, it's something for them. And that's kind of what being a firefighter now means to me. It's holding me a little bit more accountable to kind of what I decided to do as a career.
New appreciation of your job, but a new appreciation as well of what it means to lose everything to fire. We're going to look at a picture together because it's one that's we remember so well. When you returned to your family home, it was gone. There's the picture. And your condo as well. You lost 2 properties in the fire a year ago. For you, dealing with the insurance company, rebuilding, how is that gone? Where are you?
There's definitely ups and downs. I mean, you have to paint a picture of reality and optimism at the same time, but insurance isn't, I think, the lifeboat that everyone kind of assumes or hopes that it would be. It's definitely a roller coaster. It was a fight for everything and a long process. At the end of the day, things are ironing out. It's taken a year, and it's continuing to take time. Obviously, I'm not home, not in a new place that I really call home. I'm in a rental. So yeah, it's been a long, sort of pothole-ridden journey.
But staying in the community, which obviously means a lot to you. You just said something kind of profound earlier about how the good that has come from this, and we've seen good in different respects, but yours is unique. You have this new writing career. And I'm going to share some of one of the articles that you've written because many people have seen it online. It's called The Fire of Charity, and I was reading it. One of the lines that struck me is this: "The fire taught me what it meant to be in need. Dependency will carve humility in the most uncomfortable ways from the inside out." This has obviously changed your perspective on life. Anthony, how so?
I think that before, you know, giving may have always been from a place, I hate to say it, but of ego. You know, when you're given to charity, you're given to, whether it's the soup kitchen or you're giving your stuff to Goodwill, you do so almost begrudgingly, almost from this place of giving your excess. But when you lose everything and you're asking, I mean, I was asking fellow firefighters for a clean pair of underwear, and when you're a guy trying to make it on your own, that's a hard question to ask. And so now I think that giving now comes from a place of understanding. There's a million people hurting for 1,000,001 different reasons. They could have lost their house, they could have lost a loved one, but they know what it means to hurt. And now, because I know what it means to hurt, I want to help with what they need. So it's no longer of, oh, here's my excess. It's, oh my goodness, you're hurting. What do you need? What can I do? And I think that there's a real authenticity that comes from that kind of understanding.
Anthony, so good to speak to you again. Thank you for sharing the story. We're good to know how you are, glad to know how you are one later, and thanks for giving us something to reflect on in terms of what you've learned this year. Anthony Hoffman in Fort McMurray this morning. Thanks so much. We have much more coverage of the wildfire anniversary online. There are photo galleries like that shot of Anthony, personal stories as well, online for you now at CBCNews.ca.